The playlist was Underdressed, and it's an old one. That one. So, good morning, and welcome to your gentle flow and your stretch. We're gonna kind of do like everything. We're even gonna get into the articulations of our toes, of our hands, wrists, all that good stuff. So, that's where we're headed. We're gonna start off in child's pose. So if you want to take your time getting there, we're going to take big toes to touch, knees out to the side edges of your mat. And then let your hips reach back towards your heels. And let your arms reach forward. Your forehead comes down. Relax your shoulders back from your ears. And allow for your eyebrows to soften. You can wiggle your jaw from side to side. You're going to let the tongue fall away from the roof of your mouth and just kind of be there, right? So allow yourself to kind of settle in here for a moment, even in this kind of folded up shape. Check in with your knees, your hips, your ankles, right? Because sometimes this feels pretty intense. And then with your eyes closed down, now I've got my head lifted just so that y'all can hear me clearly enough. You're going to let your forehead stay down. But I want you to completely exhale. And then inhale, allow for your belly to kind of drop down towards the mat. Let your rib cage open, your lungs go to full capacity. And then you exhale through your mouth, sigh it all out. Inhale through your nose, draw your breath in and up. Exhale through your mouth. Soften, let go, release. Now this time, inhale through your nose. Draw your breath all the way in, but I want you to seal your lips lightly. And now exhale through your nose as well. So you're traveling all of that breath through the nostrils, both on your way in and on your way out. Take another inhale. Closed mouth, exhale. Start to drag the breath through the back of a slightly constricted throat. It sometimes even feels like oceanic, right? Sounds. So take a deep inhale. And exhale. One more breath just like this without moving anything else. Now as you inhale, walk your hands forward. And on your exhale, slide your hands over to the left. You're bowing out through the right side body. Let your right hip pull back. Your forehead is still down. And you're kind of thumb next to thumb for a moment. And you could always slide your right hand on top of the left if you want that, right? And then you inhale to slide through center. And exhale, walk your hands all the way over to the right. It's just thumb next to thumb. Feel that stretch. So I even feel it all the way up into like my armpit area. So just kind of waking up your body. Don't force anything. You don't gotta go too deep, too soon, or ever. Completely exhale. Maybe your left hand has slid across and is on top of your right hand. But then on your next inhale, slide your arms back through center. And then exhale, press up into your box pose. So you're going to come into all fours, hands and knees. And stack your shoulders, your elbows, your wrists. And then let your knees come underneath your hips. Perfect, y'all. So from here, this first round, I want it to be a little bit different. We're not moving into cat-cow just yet. You're going to rock forward and backward. So be very gentle with your wrists. Your fingers are spread out wide, but you're getting just enough rotational kind of pressure, right? So that as you rock forward, you're getting a deeper stretch into the front side of your wrists. And as you rock back, it kind of decreases, it releases, right? Perfect. And then come right back into center. Now from here, you're going to take the top of your right hand down and kind of turn your fingertips towards your right knee. And then just move in a little baby circle, but not big at all. You want most of the pressure, most of your weight in your left hand so that you don't hurt your right wrist. Keep your belly pulled in and up so that you're not sagging down anywhere. And then rotate in the opposite direction. Good. We're hitting this plant. And then come back to center. Let your right hand come down. Put weight into your right palm and then flip your left hand so that the palm is face up. Ooh, my left hand is definitely, the wrist is tighter. And then you move in these baby little circles, right? I mean, it's almost like imperceptible, like it's almost invisible, right? And then you go in the opposite direction. Oof, I was not expecting that to be intense today. This is usually something that feels great to me. So just notice how your body's showing up. You've moved your circles in both directions. And then let your left palm come down to the ground. Good, y'all. Now here, I just want you to take your hands and you're going to take both hands, fingertips in towards one another, palm space up. So you've got to have more of your weight into your knees at this point and just rock side to side. Good. So really stretching out your wrists. As the weather changes, I know some people are a lot younger than me, but as the weather changes, our articulations, our joints, everything kind of can flare up. So it's important to do these kinds of things so that your daily activities are accessible and easy, yeah? Stop making any movement and then let your hands come back down to the ground. If you need to rock back and kind of shake out your hands, if that was intense, do that. And then maybe you, ooh, did you hear my fingers? Maybe you kind of wiggle your fingers around. All right. Now you're going to come back into your box pose. Let your hands root down into the ground. Your right palm stays rooted. Lift your left arm. Inhale, reach your fingertips forward. And then as you exhale, swim your left arm back. So taking arm circles on the left side, getting into the shoulder, girdle, as well as your rotator cuff, all that stuff, right? And then take your circles in the opposite direction. Your belly is still pulled in and up to support you. And then drop your left hand down. On the inhale, reach your right arm forward, and as you exhale, reach your right arm back and start to circle through on the right side. And you'll go in the opposite direction. And after you take your last one, let your right hand come down. Stack your shoulders, your elbows, your wrists. Now on your inhale, let a soft belly drop down. There's a sway to your low back. Lift your chin, lift your tail. And then you exhale to reverse the movement. Dome out your upper back and tuck your tail, tuck your chin. And then you inhale, let a soft belly drop down. Cow pose. Your heart can press in between your upper arm bones. And then you exhale to cat pose. Separate your shoulder blades. Arch your upper back. And you inhale, last round, cow pose. And exhale, cat pose. Now on your inhale, come back into a neutral spine. And then exhale, just sit back on your heels. So the tops of your feet are down. Stack your shoulders over your hips. And then we're going to stretch out the feet just a little bit before we come to stand. I'll go ahead and slide my water out of the way. And I want you to move gently into this, right? Because it might feel intense. So bring your hands down onto the ground, like kind of just in front of your knees. Roll your shoulders back. And then as you lift, you're going to press down into your palms. And then you might lift your knees and roll over your toes, right? So your toes, the tops are down, but you're curled up over them. Yeah, it's a lot. And then let your knees come back down. And then tuck your toes underneath you. And then sit your hips back on your heels. And then roll your shoulders back and down. Good. Now whenever I come into this toe stand, I have to pull my pinky toe out from underneath because it kind of slides under the fourth toe. It's pretty typical. So notice if that's happening for you. Pull your belly in and up and let your shoulders stack over your hips. And then as you inhale, roll your shoulders back. Good. So taking a few more of those. And then you're going to go in the opposite direction. So now you're taking your shoulders back and then rolling them forward. Ooh. And then let your shoulders soften. Relax them back and down, kind of like in a neutral position. And then lift the crown of your head as you inhale. And bring the chin down towards your chest as you exhale. Keep your shoulders softened down. Take an inhale. And then exhale your left ear over to your left shoulder. Feel the stretch on the side of the neck on the right. And then if you inhale, you bring your chin back down. And you exhale, take your right ear towards your right shoulder. Now, if you have degenerative discs or anything like that, bulging discs, you're just going to leave your head lifted and turn your face side to side. Yeah? If the cervical spine is healthy and all of that, it feels great. You can just take ear to shoulder, chin down, ear to shoulder, side to side. Do what works for you. Your toes, your shins might be talking to you at this point. The next time you've evened everything out, let your chin drop down. The crown of your head's going to reach up. Take an inhale. Exhale, drop your hands down. Come onto your hands and your knees. Lift your feet and roll your ankles out. Good, y'all. And then maybe you tap out your feet. Yeah? All good. Root your palms down into the ground. Curl up your toes. Now zip the low part of your belly in and up. Take an inhale. And then float your hips up and back into downward facing dog as you exhale. Take a deep breath in and out. Inhale and exhale. Navel in towards your spine. Let the crown of your head reach long. Root down into the four corners of your feet. And then take a moment to just get comfortable in your own skin here. So maybe you kind of pedal out your feet. You could sway your hips side to side. And then as you inhale, roll onto the balls of your feet. And on your exhale, step your feet to the top of your mat. Once you're there, feet are about hip-width distance apart. Inhale, slide your fingertips to your shins. Take the crown of your head forward, your tailbone back. And then exhale, melt your chest down towards the ground, towards the thighs, your head down towards the ground. Now, it might feel great here to grab onto opposite elbows and kind of sway here in that ragdoll situation. You could have a really deep bend in your knees here, right? Let your head down. If there's anything that I really like to impart to students, it's that we model for you and we do the postures so you kind of get an idea of where we're going. But something, most yoga teachers are doing this, not most, but a handful, a lot, all day, every day. We have a certain level of muscle memory that sometimes allows us to go into a shape in a way that's really not maybe appropriate for all students, or that students might not be ready for yet. So always know that even if your teacher looks a certain way going into something, that does not mean that your body needs to make that same shape. In fact, more than likely it doesn't, right? So you gotta just ease into it, feel it out, because there are no shortcuts in yoga. And if you'll let your progress be natural and authentic, you will find what you're looking for. If you force it, push it, or pull it, usually leads to injury. Now from here, take a halfway lift. Heel toe your feet a little bit closer together, but not all the way to touch, because we're going to twist here. Take an exhale, drape your chest back over your thighs. Now you're more than welcome to use a block here. Or you can just bring your hand to the floor and I'll show you. But I do want you to bend your knees now because we're kind of warming up the thighs, the quads, all that stuff. So we're gonna take a bent knee twist, right? So you're still lifting your tail, your knees are bent, your chest is still pressing in, but then you'll take an inhale to a halfway lift. Your left hand can find your block. You're making an equilateral triangle with your feet and with your left hand. And then you reach your right arm up to the sky. Try to stack your shoulders. The twist is happening in your thoracic spine, so not your low back, not your hips. It's happening in this space here between the bottom of your neck and the rib cage. So try to turn your right shoulder open towards the right. You're lifting through your right clavicle. And then maybe your right arm reaches to the sky and your gaze follows your right hand. If that's too much for the neck, you just gaze to the right and you breathe. Zip your low belly in and up. And then check how much weight you're pressing down into your left hand, right? And then breathe. Take one more inhale. Exhale, drop your right hand down and fold. Inhale to your halfway lift. Now your right hand comes down. Take a deep exhale, bend your knees, and then inhale, take your left arm up to the sky. Stack your shoulders. Maybe your gaze goes up to your left hand. Check your hips. So like my left hip lifted a lot just now. So I'm going to drop it back down so that I'm twisting really where I want to twist, which is not anywhere in my hips or my low back. It's in my middle and my upper back, yeah? Through the chest area on the back side. And maybe your gaze follows your left hand. Take one more inhale. And then exhale, drop it down, forward fold. And then you inhale, take another halfway lift. Your left hand drops down as you exhale. And then inhale, your knees are bent. Reach your right arm up to the sky. And then exhale, wrap your right arm around the small of your back. Your palm is face up. Your fingertips might reach towards your left hip crease. Doesn't have to get there. Watch your hips. Keep your bottom down. And then open your chest to the right again. It's a little bit deeper. It's a lot deeper. Know that if it doesn't fit, it doesn't feel right, you can stick with that version with your right arm reaching to the sky. Wringing yourself out here. Keep deep breaths. Even breathing. Good, y'all. Completely exhale. And then as you inhale, take your right arm up to the sky. And then exhale, fold yourself back down. Drop your head down. Now you inhale, take a halfway lift. And then as you exhale, root your right palm down, bend your knees. Inhale, float your left arm up to the sky. And then exhale, wrap your left forearm around the small of your back in a half bind. Your fingertips looking for your right hip crease. It doesn't matter if it doesn't get there. Good. And then open up your chest. Your left shoulder goes high. Your gaze goes high. Your belly is pulled in and up. You breathe. Completely exhale. And then as you inhale, float your left arm back to the sky. And then you exhale, drop your left hand down and forward fold. Now this time on your inhale, come all the way up to standing. You're going to reach your arms out and up. I'm going to slide my block out of the way. Whew. And then as you exhale, drop your left hand down and reach your right arm up and over. Get a side body stretch. Nice, y'all. And then as you inhale, reach your arms up overhead. And on the exhale, drop your right hand down and lift your left arm up and over. Inhale both arms to the sky. And then exhale, Elbows back and down, lift your chest. Good. We're going to do that 2 more times. Inhale, reach your arms to the sky. But reach like you mean it. Get long. Let your navel pull up and away from your pubic bone. Your sternum up and away from your navel. And then exhale, drop your left arm down, reach your right arm up and over. And then you inhale, both arms high. Exhale, your right arm down, your left arm reaches up and over. And then you inhale, reach like you mean it. Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, elbows back and down, lift your chest. You might press your hips slightly forward. And then you inhale, both arms high. Last round, exhale, left arm down, right arm reaches up and over. And then you inhale, arms to the sky. Exhale, drop your right hand down and take your left arm up and over. And then inhale, arms up. Exhale, elbows back and down, lift your chest. And then you inhale, reach your arms high. Now zip your belly up and then exhale, fold, hinge at your hips, drape your chest down. As you inhale, take a halfway lift. And then you exhale, bring your hands down, step your feet back. And you're in a downward facing dog. Lift your hips, pedal out your feet if you need to. And let your chest drape back towards your thighs. There's a slight internal rotation of your thigh bones, and you might feel your outer heels kind of lining up with your pinky toe. Now on your inhale, float your right leg up to the sky, but take your time. Dial your right pinky toe down. And then on the exhale, with control, step your right foot all the way through and soften your left knee down to the ground. I'm going to have you grab a block and slide it to the outside of your right leg on its highest level, okay? So it's gonna look like this, but on the outside of your right leg. There it is. All right, y'all. Now take your time. You're gonna squeeze your inner thighs towards one another, and then you inhale, bring your shoulders up over your hips, and then bring your arms up overhead. Stay for a moment as you exhale. Let your shoulders soften down. And then when you're ready, drop your right hand down so that your fingertips kind of find the top of your block, right? It's just for support. Now as you inhale, lift your left fingertips, arch through your spine. Now you've got to zip your low belly in and up to support your low back, so you shouldn't feel anything in the lumbar spine. I want you to inhale, lift, lift, lift like you mean it. And then exhale, hinge forward and swim your left fingertips down towards the ground. And then you inhale to lift. And exhale to hinge and drop your left fingertips down. Let's do 2 more. Inhale. You're lifting up and out of your hips, arching your upper back. Exhale, come forward, let your fingertips drop down. Last one, inhale. And exhale. On your inhale, just reach your arms up overhead. And on the exhale, bring your hands down inside of your right foot. And then you're going to wiggle your right toes over just a little bit. So you're in a low lizard lunge. Perfect, y'all. And you want your shoulders to be over your wrists. I'm going to face forward for a moment just so that you can kind of see what I'm going to work towards. But we're going to go nice and slow. So... And again, this is one of those spaces where just because I go a little bit deeper, it does not mean that you need to, yeah? Roll your shoulders back. Your right knee starts on top of your right ankle. Then maybe, and I really want you to stay lifted today with your arms kind of straight, soft bend in your elbows. And then start to turn your right toes out to like 1 or 2 o'clock. And then externally rotate your right thigh. Your right knee is going to start to fall open. Good. Now you could slide your right foot out more. If you already feel deep sensation, you are gonna stay right where you are, right? So be there. Be okay with whatever is showing up, right? And then you kind of find, so we call this a winged dragon, right? I'm gonna have you kind of inhale, lift your right knee ever so slightly, and then exhale, let it drop back down. So it's almost like a little wiggle, right? Now your belly is pulled in. Your chest is supported because your arms are firm and lifted, yeah? And you're just gonna be here for a moment, breathing into this space. You could even close your eyes. And if you lost that breath that we cultivated at the beginning of class, go ahead and seal your lips. It's gonna allow you to create heat from the inside. Inhale through your nose as you lift your right knee. Exhale through your nose as you soften it back down. Now when you're ready, slowly lift your right knee. Heel toe your right foot back to the center. And then if you have two blocks, you could use them here. Get this one. And then you're going to slide them outside on either side of your right foot. Take your inhale here. Pull your heart forward. And then exhale. Release out of your left hip a little bit. And then straighten your right leg and flex your toes back towards your shin. And then same thing, I just want you to breathe here. So your spine is long, even if that means that you don't come all the way down. I would rather that than you go here, right? Arching and tucking your nose towards your knee. Breathe. Pull your right hip back, your left hip forward. You could always take your left hand to the back of your right leg, kind of on the hamstring, and rub the belly of your muscle. Y'all. And you're going to slowly walk yourself back forward. Curl up your back toes, lift your back knee. And then step your right foot to the back of your mat, pedal out your feet, sway your hips side to side, let your head hang down. And then inhale, lift your left leg up to the sky. And exhale, step your left foot all the way through. Soften your right knee down to the ground. Grab your block. It's going to come kind of outside of your left thigh this time, right? You don't need it just yet. But then taking your time, inhale, bring your shoulders over your hips and your arms up overhead. Stay for your exhale. So your left knee is over your heel or your ankle, right? And then you take an inhale. On the exhale, drop your left fingertips down to your left block. Now on your inhale, reach your right fingertips high. Arch your upper back. And then as you exhale, let your right fingertips come down to the ground. Inhale, swing your right fingertips forward and up. Arch your upper back. And then exhale, swing your right hand down and back. Last two, inhale. And exhale. Last one, inhale. And exhale. Nicely done. Now on your inhale, take your arms up overhead. Take your time. And then exhale, bring your hands down to the inside of your left foot. You're going to slide your left foot over. Take your time. Just be here for a moment. So that's going to open up the front side of your right hip. Move this out of the way. And you're going to stay lifted. So your chest stays proud on this one today, yeah? Zip your low belly in and up so you're supported in your low back. Now, when you're ready, if you're ready, you can lift your left toes, turn them out to like 10 or 11 o'clock, start to roll to the outer edge of your left foot. You can actually like open through your left thigh bone and breathe, yeah? You could slide your left foot farther out or maybe even a little bit more forward. Just make sure whatever you do, there's no pain or pinching in your left knee, right? And then here we go. Our little winged wiggles here. On your inhale, you softly kind of lift your hips, lift your left knee just a little bit. And then you exhale, soften, let your left knee open. Inhale to lift. Exhale to splay it open. And just breathe here. Seal your lips and get that deep diaphragmatic breath going. So good, y'all. Now gently bring your left knee back up. You're going to heel toe your left foot back in. Frame your left foot with your hands. Maybe grab your blocks. And then you're here. So you take your inhale, pull your heart forward. And then exhale, shift your hips back. Straighten your left leg and flex your toes back towards your shin. Now pull your left hip back, your right hip forward. So Ardha Hanumanasana, your half split. You could always take your right hand to your left hamstring and kind of rub that out if you need to. But breathe wherever you are. Nice. Good, y'all. Now changing it up this time. You're going to inhale, slowly walk yourself forward, but bring your left hand to the inside of your left foot. Curl up your back toes, lift your back knee. And then as you exhale, step your right foot outside of your right hand. Take your heels and your toes out. You can totally sit on a block here if that would feel better to you. You're going to drop your hips down, bring your hands to heart center. And just be here in Malasana, your yogic squat. So lift your chest, zip your belly in and up. Your gaze is soft and forward. And you just breathe here. Very nice, y'all. All right. Completely exhale. Now bring your hands down to the ground. Lift your hips. If you've got a block, you're going to slide it out from underneath you. And then you inhale to lift your hips. And then slide your feet maybe off of your mat. You're going to go into a little bit wider of a stance. And then your heels, well, you're gonna barely pigeon toe your toes, right? So it's kind of like a small prasarita, wide leg forward fold. So take an inhale, the crown of your head forward, your tailbone back towards the back of your mat. And then exhale, drape your chest down, drop the crown of your head down. And you're breathing here, right? You can even find a little bit of movement if you like that. Drop your head down completely. Right, you need some of that fluid movement in your shoulders, do that, right? And then empty out your lungs and pull your belly in and up. It makes it easier to fold over your legs and drop your head down. And then kind of notice, is all of your weight in your heels? Could you distribute some of that weight more to the ball mounds? And it's going to create that sensation like you might topple forward. I doubt you do. But if you do, you'll be all right? You get back up. You just breathe here. All right. Now I'm going to kind of bend into my left knee and straighten my right leg. And then I inhale to come back into center. And then exhale, bend my right knee, straighten my left leg. I'm just going to move side to side for a moment because I feel like releasing some tension from my hips. And then the next time you come through center, you can grab a block if you like that. You've been here before, but your knees, your feet were closer together and your knees were bent. Taking our twist, take your left hand down to the ground. Lengthen your spine. So remember that twisting, the longer you can get your spine, the more accessible and approachable the twisting is, right? Now your left hand stays down. Reach your right arm up. Now I have to check out my low back and my hips because I have a tendency to get wonky there. And then once I'm there, I take my right shoulder up, my gaze high, and then maybe my right hand reaches up. Breathe. If you do a lot of work at the computer or even driving, this kind of stuff is so good for you, but it's probably going to be humbling, right? Because our spine is curving the opposite way most of the time. Take one more inhale. Exhale, drop your right hand down. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, your right hand roots down. And then inhale, reach your left arm up. Now if you need to, check out your hips, your low back, and then work through the shoulders and your clavicle. So rather than trying to take the twist here, think of your left collarbone lifting up. It's going to help you generate that twist more in your upper and middle thoracic spine, right? It's really easy to let your hips take over. Breathe. Take one more inhale. And then let your left hand drop down as you exhale. Let your chest drape down. Let your head hang down. And then inhale to a halfway lift. Now just walk your hands over to your right ankle. And then pull your right side rib cage in towards your right thigh. And breathe. Drop your head down. Completely exhale. And then on your inhale, come back for center. And then exhale, just walk over to your left leg. So you kind of feel your left side, like the lateral ribs, drawn towards the thigh bone. And then you kind of turn towards your left thigh. So maybe the navel even starts to move. And your right hand could grab your left ankle. If it doesn't get there, it doesn't matter. Don't worry about it. And then you drape down, drop your head down. And breathe. Completely exhale. And then you inhale, slide it back through center. Go ahead and take a halfway lift. Slide your feet in a little bit. And then on your exhale, turn your heels in, your toes out. Bend into your knees. Take a moment, maybe wag your tail, yeah? And then bring your left hand to your left thigh, your right hand to your right thigh, and then slowly bring your shoulders up over your hips. So you actually look like this, but you're at the top of your mat, right? So it's a goddess pose, yeah? That's what it is, it's goddess pose. And then roll your shoulders back and down. Drop your hips down. Take an inhale to lengthen your spine. And then your hands are kind of on your inner thighs. Your fingertips pointing in towards your inner thigh. And on your exhale, drop your right shoulder down and turn your gaze left. And then you inhale, come back into center. And then exhale, drop your left shoulder down and turn your gaze right. Just take one more round on each side. Good, y'all. And then you come back into center. And then straighten your legs nice and slow. Take your shoulders over your hips. And then heel toe your feet back together on your mat. And then if you have a block or anything, you might just slide it out of the way. And on your inhale, reach your arms out and up. And then as you exhale, take your elbows back and down. Lift your chest, but this time let your hands find one another at the base of your spine. Interlace your fingers. Inhale to puff up your chest. And then as you exhale, hinge at your hips, take your chest to your thighs, and drop your head down. Good. Now bring your hands down to the ground. Inhale to your halfway lift. And then as you exhale, pop onto the balls of your feet so that you can sit down. Yeah, eventually you're just gonna walk your hands, let your heels come down and sit down onto the ground. Okay, so from here, I want you to take your feet to about hip width distance apart. And then bring your hands behind you, but with your fingertips pointing away from you. And then just open up your chest, right? You might even find a little movement here. You could walk your hands back a little bit farther. I'm trying to stretch out your shoulders and your chest a little bit. Just kind of lift your chest, right? Now, if you want more sensation, you're gonna slowly slide your hands in until your pinkies touch. Now, for me, I'm hypermobile, so that doesn't really do much for me. It actually hurts my elbows and doesn't do anything for my shoulders. So I keep my hands out. But I just want you to know that for a typical body, if you want more sensation here, you're gonna bring your pinkies together behind you or closer towards one another. They don't even have to come all the way to touch. Now roll your shoulders back, lift your collarbones, lift your chest. Good, and I kind of take little bends to the elbows and then I straighten and lift. A little bend. If it doesn't feel good to you, skip it. Perfect, y'all. Just really trying to work on getting the chest and the fronts of the shoulders to open up a little bit. Nice. And then slowly sit yourself back up. Now I'm going to grab a strap. So if you have a strap, go ahead and grab one. And then I'm going to loop it around the balls of my feet and extend my legs out in front of me. So move your stuff out of the way, right? And if you don't have a strap, don't worry about it. Or if you have a towel or a t-shirt or anything, that also works. On your inhale, sit up nice and tall. Roll your shoulders back and down. Find your sits bones. And then as you exhale, start to choke up on your strap with both hands. And with a flat back, start to hinge at your hips. You can bend your knees as much as you need or want. What I like about the strap is that it helps you remember to bring your pinky toes towards your shins as much as your big toes, right? All 5 toes are flexing back towards the shins. Relax your shoulders back and down. Lead with your heart. The moment you start to round to go deeper, I want you to just stop where you are, yeah? And breathe. Perfect, y'all. All right, now from here, slowly let your shoulders come back up over your hips. Release your left foot out from your strap, so now just your right foot is in there, or your towel or your t-shirt, or you can grab your right foot with your hand, right? Now roll your shoulders back, and you're gonna lift your right leg up and choke up on the strap. Now if you notice you start to roll back like this, yeah, try to come back forward onto your sits bones. And just don't take your right leg up as high. Keep spinning your right inner thigh inward, your toes inward. Good, y'all. Take one more inhale. And then soften your right foot down as you exhale, and then just switch. You're gonna move over to the left foot with your strap. Roll your shoulders back, stack them over your hips, find your sits bones, and then root down in your right heel, but lift your left leg. Spin your inner thigh towards the right. Yeah, there it is. Roll your shoulders back and down. I say that like I can see you, but it's because I imagine that you're doing these things that I ask you to do. I have faith. Lift your chest, breathe. It's all good, it's great, it feels great. Take one more inhale. Stay for your exhale. Relax your shoulders. One more breath in. And then soften your left foot down as you breathe out. Now release the strap. Cross your feet at your ankles. So you're in Sukhasana, which is just your comfortable, easy sit. Now I'm going to flip the other way so that you can see me. And I'm also going to use my strap. But inhale, take your left hand up and over. Now drop your fingertips in between your shoulder blades. Sit up nice and tall. To start, let your right hand find your left elbow. and kind of stretch your tricep, right? Now, from there, take the strap into your left hand and let it just hang down behind your back. Lift the back of your head so that your chin is it's neutral, it's just not tucked. Now your right arm reaches out with your thumb pointing up, and then you internally rotate your right upper arm bone so your thumb is now facing down, and then you reach your right arm back and you grab your strap, yeah? So this is working your Gomukhasana arms, and then you start to work your right hand up towards the left hand, stretching through your shoulders. Breathe. Totally forgot the song had cuss words in it. So if y'all are on the playlist with me, enjoy or skip this song. Take one more inhale. Slowly release as you exhale. So shake out your arms, whatever you need. And then from here, other side. So switch out the cross of your legs. So rock back and then cross your left ankle over the right. And then as you inhale, reach your right arm out and up. Drop your fingertips in between your shoulder blades. Let your left hand find your right elbow, your right tricep. Get that little stretch first. And then take your left arm out. Your thumb is pointing up. Actually, grab your strap. Take your strap into your right hand. Now take your left arm out. Your thumb is pointing up. Internally rotate your upper arm bone and let your left thumb point down. And then take your left arm, find your strap. Reach your fingertips up. And take the crown of your head. Lift it to the sky. And then you're taking your strap and kind of working your fingers towards one another. Getting that stretch all through your shoulders, maybe your armpit area. Let the back of your skull make contact with the soft part of your right forearm, right? The underside. Keep breathing. Keep focusing. Good, y'all. All right. Take one more inhale. And then it's a soft release as you exhale. All right. So take your strap, move it along outside, and then I'm going to face back forward now. All right. So from this space, I'm going to have you nice and slow roll down onto your back. Let your feet come down to about hip width distance apart. And then you know what? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to switch that up. So if you have a block, you're going to bring it. And so here's the thing. Some people like for the block to go horizontally. Some people like for it to go vertically. I play around with it, but I usually go vertically to start. And then you kind of come into this space where your block is going to come down to maybe like your second to last floating rib. And then you're just going to rest your chest on your block. Now, if you could go deeper, you're going to change the level of your block, right? You can make it go higher so that the opening is more. Feel it out. If you have a wheel, we've done a lot of twisting and kind of opening up through the chest. So if you have a wheel, you're going to take it and place it in the same spot. And then I bring it up towards my low back. And I grab onto it with my hands like this. And I slide my thumbs onto it, onto the wooden part. And then my other four fingers are down on my mat. And my feet are about hip width distance apart. So I lift, and then I can slide my wheel wherever I want it to start. And so I kind of roll here for a second and feel everything out. And then I start to take it back. So you can roll forward and backward. You can take the crown of your head down. This is going to really get into the tops of your hips. You can go the whole length of your spine. You can release the block from your hands if you want, or the wheel. Just make sure you're not looking side to side. And then if you have your block and you're using that when you're ready to let go, wherever you are, if you have a block underneath you, you're going to roll to the side and kind of remove that block and then lie right back down on your back, right? Let your bones, your whole spine get heavy back down on the mat before you do anything else. If you're coming off of your wheel, slowly lie down onto your back. And then we're all going to hug our knees in towards the chest and wrap your arms around your shins. Relax your shoulders back and down. You can rock side to side. It's been a while since I pulled my wheel out. I actually got a lot of ideas for today. Like I moved some stuff around, but from a girl on YouTube, I can't remember. I'm going to have to look up her name so I can tell y'all. But she busted out her wheel for a live stream class, and I was like, why not? I'll come back to center and drop your feet down to the ground. Let your low back root back down to the earth. You could cross your right ankle over your left knee, your left thigh. Let your right knee just fall away from you. You can stay right here, or you can hug your left thigh in towards your chest. Relax your shoulders back and down. Kind of flexing through both feet in your supine, your reclined pigeon. Your right forearm is nuzzling in towards your right inner thigh. Your face is soft. You breathe in and you know that you're breathing in. You breathe out. You know that you're breathing out. Take a deep breath in. Let your left foot come back down to the ground. Open your arms out to the T. And on the exhale, drop your knees to the left and turn your face to the right. And you breathe again. It's all good. Next inhale, slowly bring your knees through center. And as you exhale, drop your right foot down. Let the left ankle cross over your right knee, your right thigh. Your left knee just kind of presses away. Your low back stays flat. You can stay right here if this is great for you. Otherwise, on your next exhale, bring your right thigh, your right shin in towards your chest. You're going to interlace your fingers either around your hamstring or your shin. Relax your shoulders. Let your collarbones lift and be broad. Close down your eyes. Take one more inhale. Let your right foot come down to the ground. Open your arms to a T. And then exhale, let your knees fall to the right and turn your gaze to the left and breathe. Ooh, got a little spinal adjustment there. completely exhale. And then as you inhale, bring your knees back through center. And then exhale to a happy baby. Bend your knees, peace fingers to your big toes, flex your feet. You can rock side to side, or you can just be still, right? So what do you need? Do that. Perfect. Ooh. And then I would maybe, because I feel like I accidentally played my playlist like all out of order, so I'm not sure what song y'all are on, but for Shavasana I would go to Perfect Instance on this playlist. So take a deep inhale. Hug your knees in towards your chest, wrap your arms around your shins, bring your forehead up to your knees as you exhale. Stay right here for your inhale. And Shavasana. As you exhale, extend your legs forward. Let your feet hang comfortably open. Your arms come down by the side body with your palms facing up. Your eyes are either closed down or you're gazing softly at the ceiling just above you. Take a deep breath in. And out. And rest. Enjoy. If what you need is to stay here just a little bit longer, please do, right? There's nowhere to go, nowhere to be. You're perfect right there resting. You are ready. You'll deepen your breath. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. And then on your inhale, take your arms up overhead, find your full body stretch. And as you exhale, hug your knees in towards your chest. Wrap your arms around your shins. And you'll rock over to the right or press straight up into your comfortable, easy sit, just right where you are. And then your eyes can stay closed or you can open them, whatever. Hands in your lap, hands on your knees. Sit up nice and tall. Roll your shoulders back and down. Take a deep inhale. And exhale. Give yourself a moment of gratitude for showing up on your mat, for doing even the stretching sometimes is the hard work, right? So showing up and doing the hard work. So I appreciate all of you for being here. I hope you have a great rest of your day, evening, whatever it is when you take this class. And namaste.